It was a strangely calm, peaceful Monday afternoon. Strange because unlike other afternoons in this area, the sun wasn't too angry today, the breeze was blowing, the birds were singing, and all in all, the weather was sweet harmony. But what was happening now wasn't sweet, neither was it calm. This was my second time running for my life before. The first time being running from a wild dog. But I knew this time was more dangerous because the people after me now would do more harm to me than any dog could. In short, if these people should catch me, I am finished. I wanted to just flog myself, to beat myself and shout to myself, Victor, what made you do this? What made you enter this kind of mess? Because a man was oftentimes the architect of his own misfortune. I noticed how one of the boys after me had an abandoned tire in hand. And if you had any street knowledge or came from a particular part of this world, you would know that this was to set me on fire. My heart wanted to pop out of my chest. My back was wetter than a sponge, my sweat like an angry flood. I have always had a sharp nose, and with it, I could perceive the faint smell of fuel. I didn't need to be a professor to know that a box of matches or a lighter won't be too far away. They were like 13 meters away from me. Now, 11, 9, 8, 7, 3. I cut through from the lonely neighborhood and into the main road. I could feel dozens of eyes fall upon me, but I could care less. My legs were failing, and these people were really persistent to get me. They wanted to use me as a scapegoat to show everyone something, to show everyone what terrible consequence will befall anyone who dares to steal again. But as they were about to catch me, it was like as if God in heaven just smiled at me. This was the type of main road where a train track was built alongside it. A train was passing. This was my opportunity. The train was close and I knew my chances of getting across were small, and that if I was a little bit slow, I would be crushed into meat. But there was no need hesitating. I sprinted across the tracks. People couldn't believe what they were seeing. They were seeing a human being there to cross the train track, and the train was on its way. While everyone thought that I would definitely get crushed, fortunately I managed to pass. The speeding train just passed me by an inch. The people pursuing me from behind had to stop because the train had now covered the whole path. Did you bring the money back? You are mad, I shouted at the owner of the voice. They nearly caught me, you bastard. My body was weak and tired, but it didn't stop my voice from echoing out. I was truly angered. Why are you shouting like a small child? Are you not grown up now? This is how we do things here. Have you forgotten? I wanted to insult this person because my anger was too much at this point, but I had to calm down. He was not wrong. It was me who entered this life. It was me who chose this path. So why am I complaining? I sat down after giving them the money. They were like 4 in the room, my fellow gang members. The one that spoke to me was the leader of this gang, a man named Bloody Eye. He was just 23, but he was already a very big threat to the community, terrorizing and causing chaos. As I sat down and watched as they happily shared the money I had just stolen, I felt sick in my stomach. I wondered how I became associated with this kind of people. I could only remember my parents' face and how much sadness I had caused them with my recent behaviors. I laid down and began to think heavily. What have I gotten myself into? At first, all this was fun. The chase, the excitement, that tense feeling was awesome. I loved it. But now it just became disgusting and sickening. I hated this life. I preferred my old one. But I began to remember my old life was boring and pale. My parents were never truly there for me. I often found myself staring out the window, waiting for them to come home, waiting for their embrace, their guardians, even their presence. But they were always chasing something I couldn't quite grasp at the time. They were always chasing more money, more success, more things. And in their pursuit of all of that, they unknowingly left something behind. Me. It wasn't their fault, not entirely. They did what they thought was best. They wanted to provide for me, to give me everything they didn't have growing up. But in the process, they forgot what I needed most. Their time, their love. Not in the form of material gifts, but in simple, quiet moments. Instead, I was left with this deep empty feeling, a void in my chest that no amount of toys or words could fill. And this void and this loneliness was what pushed me into this life, was what shaped me. The space left vacant by their absence is what created the person I became, one who sought love in places where it wasn't meant to be found. And now, this was the life I was in. As I stared at the ceiling, regret filled my soul. This emptiness in me, this regret, this is not life.